Welcome to the 266 Express. I'm John Noblet here with my co-host Donna Green. Donna, who we got?
Today we have David Fulton. He is the owner of DEF Recycling, and he's also the sponsor for our annual Freedom Fest.
Freedom Fest. Now, that's coming up soon, right? End of this month, June?
Yeah, end of June, yes.
June. David, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We appreciate that sponsorship. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, how long you been in Sanger?
I came to Sanger after I graduated the one and only Denton Bronco High. Moved out here September of '86. I've been here 38 years.
Oh, wow.
Watched Sanger change a lot. Not so much in the first 15 years, but it's really changed a lot in the last 20 years.
Yeah. We were just talking a little bit about that before the podcast, that the dynamics are really moving now.
Ever since the Walmart distribution came in, that's when the change started.
Yeah.
I think it was 2001.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Been a while, yep. So, Davis, tell us about the journey of DEF and that's your metal recycling company, and then just tell us, like, from inception to where you are now. How'd you get here?
Well, I grew up in the scrap business, working alongside my dad, his scrapyard in Denton, and since I was 10 years old, so I've been doing it over 40 years, and it gets in your blood. And it's just like second nature. So that's all you know, and that's why I'm still here. And so I had a chance to open a yard on my own after my dad passed, and so that's where we are today. And it's really remarkable how it's grown over the last 5 years.
Yeah, my dad owned his own business, so family businesses can be difficult. I'm surprised you made it, because my dad fired me like 38 times. Is it kind of the same experience?
Well, I guess I was more it's exactly the same experience, but I was the slave laborer, and the one that when the phone rang, he was calling to get this done or get that done. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, but it is nice to have generational businesses like that. I mean, those are really important to what we do, what cities do for the economy of both, the cities that you guys operate in, and as well as the regions that you guys operate in. I don't know that everybody really understands, and I don't, to a large degree, how that scrap industry impacts, the economics of a community.
Oh, it's you talk about the local, but of course, me being in this business for so long, I know people from the Gulf Coast to Canada, from East Coast to West Coast, and you never know who is going to call to need something or need something done with some problem or somewhere in some load or something. And you just never know who's going to call, and you never know what's going to drive in the gate.
Yeah. I can only imagine. I can only imagine.
So tell us, David. I know you work commercial with like TxDOT and with the city, of course. But what about residential people? What's recyclable? What do you take?
Well, in our metal recycling, we tell everybody anything metal, and plastic and newspaper. There's a lot of newspaper recycling in around North Texas, and it's rarely available. We don't do it because of the fire hazard, because it involves so much more. You got to have a sprinkler system. You got to have just a whole nother set of fire codes.
Yeah.
And so plastic recycling is a little more. It's picking up speed, but since COVID, and it really diminished some, but it's picking up more speed again. But plastic is recyclable. We just don't do it because it's a whole nother extension, and we just never have done it. But we take anything metal, no fluids or gases like Freon, or fluids like gasoline, oil, water. You buy a water heater, you don't buy 50 gallons of water.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, anything metal. So we buy whole cars with a title, stuff like that, fluids drained, and anything from beer cans to the trampoline that gets messed up in the storm to.
Then what happens to all that metal? Because I've been out to your yard and I've seen very, very neat. He has a very neat,
Very clean.
very clean, very organized. And you've got all these different piles and like the rebar from the all the road construction, and you've got all this stuff. What happens to all that? Where does it go?
Well, a big misconception, a lot of people think everything we do is everything goes to China. Actually, China hasn't bought much ferrous being your steels, out of the United States in probably 7-8 years. More of our steel gets bought up by Turkey. But all of our steel that we do as a DEF goes here within about 100 miles. We sell to a steel mill in Melothian, there's a steel mill in Durant, there's a steel mill in Madill, Oklahoma, and there's a foundry in Ardmore. So that's our 4 primary. And we sell to all of them. And they all have different specifications. And when somebody says, well, you have this, well, you have to put this over there because this mill will take this, but that mill won't. So it's I try to teach all my guys, it's like making a cake. You have to blend everything because you don't want an all flour cake or an all sugar cake. And it's the same thing with scrap. You have to blend as you process it so the mill will accept it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Now, there's a lot of challenges in a lot of businesses. Yours is one that recycling, just in general, we just know on our side, there's so many different regulations. Has the regulatory environment changed for you guys quite a bit?
Not so much on you go back to the 80s, the EPA made batteries hazardous waste. Well, what happened then, we're not hazardous waste people, so all the scrap dealers across the United States quit buying them. Well, what happened then? People throw them in the ditch.
Right.
So then they came back and said, oh, well, they're not a hazardous waste, and you could buy them again. So, yeah, they fixed that, but they do mistakes like that. But the biggest change has come due to the theft. And so we're regulated by the Texas Department of Public Safety.
Right.
And we have to do reporting of copper, brass, aluminum. Batteries got added to that because they started stealing so many batteries out of construction equipment and different things. And so you have to have valid ID for all that stuff, and we have to report it to the DPS. And matter of fact, we just had a call from Oklahoma City. In the metro of Oklahoma City, they actually found a guy that we had bought some stuff from, and it was stolen from a TV station.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But it was his third time to steal it, and they'd already locked him up. They let him out of jail, and he stole it again. And he came across state lines to Gainesville.
Boy, they probably need to do a little something at the station there.
But
security.
So, that's the biggest difference in regulation is being they actually come out and audit our records and check our cameras.
Yeah.
We have to fingerprint. We have to get your picture of driver license, take a picture of the person themselves. So that's the biggest change there as far as regulations go.
Right.
But we do all of the stormwater permits, and we have to, keep a clean house in a sense because you don't want to be polluting the waterways.
Right. And you said something there about the batteries and some other things. I mean, it seems like that business is a very important part of the supply chain process. I mean, we always talk about being consumers and grabbing goods, but we don't always talk about the best way to dispose of those goods and get some of those raw materials back into the system for new products and services.
Well, and you mentioned that, and that goes back to why when my dad was in business in Denton, and they Denton has their own landfill, and if I remember back when I was a kid that the amount of tin, the metal tin would come in. It would have closed the Denton landfill years ago because where else are you going to do with it? So that's the purpose. You know, we being in the scrap business, we're the original recyclers. Mm-hmm. We started doing it years and years and years ago before anybody thought about recycling.
Right.
But we've always been doing it. And so now it's, really picked up momentum and picked up speed. So, we're a throwaway society now. And so we buy and throw it away. And so that's what we do is we recycle. Dishwashers, washers, and dryers, they go out, you throw them away. But we buy them in the scrap metal.
Yeah, wow. So how do you see the future of metal recycling evolving? What do you think's on the next on the horizon, or what's going to change?
Well, it's going to get more automated. I know that because the labor issue is a big deal. As everyone knows, there's no qualified people out there and you have to have some qualified people to run this high technology equipment. And I don't know where it'll go, but it will definitely follow suit with all the other technology, as there is some amazing stuff out there. There'll probably be automated running cranes and material handlers and stuff like that we already have a remote controlled shear. So, I mean, that's one less operator you have to have.
Right.
And I see a lot more of that coming.
Yeah.
It's just, we already have technology on the shredder side that as the shredder, for instance, a car, you shred a car or a washer or a dryer, and the shredder's purpose is to shred the material, separate it by ferrous, non-ferrous, and then it has different conveyors and some of them use air, and they separate the trash and the plastic. And now they have the technology to separate the plastics by color with on the back end to sort out the plastics, to recycle the plastics. And that's just amazing technology to watch
incredible.
that.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Very, very expensive, but that's where it'll be going.
Yeah. Hopefully the cost of that will come down, but it also poses the problem for a lot of people out of work.
I'm not hard labor anymore. When in my younger days I was, but I'm starting to get concerned at this point because I'm easily replaceable.
There's so many new jobs of anything you want to do out there, really, if you just put your mind to it, though.
Yeah. And, a lot of programs out there and a lot of programs that require support, which, gets us back to really, your involvement in what you do here. You have been a big sponsor of Freedom Fest. You're a big sponsor of the Old Bolivar Station Songwriter Festival, the Sanger Cleanup Days. I was in Gainesville, where you own a business as well. You're involved in Gainesville and some of the things they do. What motivates you to be involved at the level you are? Because some people will sponsor an event or two, but you really put your money where your mouth is, so to speak, on helping make these programs successful.
Well, the city trash off's been going on, 15, 18 years probably.
Yeah.
So we got involved in that, a long time ago, and have always continued to do that. And I take pride in that because, it's what we do and not trash, but the metal side of it. And we just, want to help people clean up. And that goes back to what you're saying, who can recycle? Anybody can recycle. It doesn't have to be a business or anything, but the city cleanup is one part that people can get out on the weekend or save up for that weekend and clean up. And that goes into, expanding and saying, hey, I want to help out all I can to help the people of Sanger and know all they can about recycling and where to go.
Yeah, which is good because a lot of people don't know. I mean, you see it all the time. Somebody will throw a washing machine on the curb because they don't know where else to put it.
Yeah, they don't
or
know
what
where
to do with
go. Or maybe they just don't want to mess with it.
Right.
And that comes to something else because, as far as everybody recycling, not everybody's going to recycle.
Mm-hmm.
You're only going to get about half the people recycle, in my opinion, which is what my business is about half commercial, half, peddler traffic.
Right.
So.
Well, things like the trash off, that makes it convenient. So it encourages people who normally wouldn't recycle to actually, that's a good opportunity to be able to do that. So I appreciate the partnership. It works out really great for Sanger, for sure. So let's see. Do you engage with your local schools or educational institutions to promote recycling? Do you do any kind of education or?
Well, we have some in the past, not very much, but we have some. Our trade organization, ISRI, and just got renamed Recycles Material Association. They do offer some stuff that we can print out and pass out to help the schools educate. But we have, in the past, gone and had some kindergartens and stuff come out on tour the yards and see how it works. Because when you put when you get to see it in person, that's when it really hits home how it all works.
Yeah.
Because when you mentioned about where does it go? Well, you buy it, you process it. And processing could be cutting, shearing, torching, baling. You all have to separate it by what mill is going to buy what, whether it be aluminum or steel, and then you package it and load it on trucks and then ship it out. Mm-hmm. So they get to see all that firsthand, and it's really something to see if you've never seen it.
Yeah, it's exciting for them.
Yeah, it's an interesting process for sure.
For instance, right now we have quite a mountain of rebar from the I-35 project going on in Cook County, which is getting ready to start in Denton County. If people don't know, get ready. Since last July, we've I looked before I came here. We've picked up 276 box loads of rebar from north of Valley View to Gainesville. 1,380 tons of rebar.
Oh wow!
Wow, that's a lot.
And right now we've probably got close to 500 tons in the yard. It's a mountain, and it's so labor intensive because most of the steel mills. All the steel mills don't like rebar, but they make it. But when they go back to recycle it, it's very, it gets tangled. And there's a lot of work on getting it cut down. Most of them don't buy it unless it's 2 foot or shorter. Yeah. And it's very labor intensive to get it that short.
Does it come in with the concrete on it still?
So it'll have a little bit of concrete, but they have a pretty good way of busting the concrete off, and so it's essentially concrete free, but you'll get some balls of concrete here and there.
And then you have because that rebar, we've seen a lot of road construction. You can see how long those are, so that is a lot of cutting. Is that a machine that does all that?
Yeah, it takes two machines.
Two machines.
Yeah. Wow. We have to cut it apart with 2 machines.
Does that usually, due to weight, does that usually have to go out on rail, or does it?
No, we with the steel mills close by, we can put it on truck.
Truck it over. Yeah. It's pretty. I'm interested too, because I didn't realize how many working foundries were still in this area.
The one in Durant just opened in 2017, brand new $300 million steel mill. Believe it or not.
Yeah. That's good.
And they're talking about building another one in East Texas.
East Texas. Yeah. I mean, it is again. I think as people become more aware of these things, maybe that helps. People are becoming so environmentally conscious now
more so
than they have been in the past. But it's thanks to efforts like yours. I mean,
Well, it is the wave of the past and the way of the future. You got to reuse, and there's statistics out there that show how much steel, but most of the steel mills, it's getting on towards 80% of the steel mills in the United States use recycled steel.
Yeah, it's a finite resource, right? No,
Yeah.
there's only so much. Yeah,
And at the current time, there's a way oversupply, and a lot of the steel mills are busting at the seams as we go into June. They don't have a very big buy program because some of us blame it on election year. Things are slowed down, inflation, what it is, and their sales on the other end aren't very good, and so they're full, and which drives scrap prices down, even to the point that two mills at this very moment are not buying anything, which is not good because we have to keep buying from the public, but they may not understand that why the price is so cheap, but we have no place to go with it right now.
Right.
Yeah, and we see that on the other end of the supply chain now. Right now, we have tremendous problems with the road work and electrical work and those things that we're doing because getting a hold of that stuff, the lead times now are just outrageous.
Yeah.
So it all impacts that. So tell us, David, on where are people going to find you? Where I know you have several locations. How they get a hold of you? If they're sitting at home listening to this now and they go, "Hey, I never thought about taking this to the scrapyard," where do they take it?
Well, we're in Gainesville. There at right off the interstate, exit 499 off I-35 north of 82. Go half a mile, and we have an entrance right there off the interstate, and then we also have another entrance off North Weaver. Comes in both sides. And one thing I did when I started my own was I know the working folks have to work, so we're open on Saturdays to accommodate the people that have to work during the week. And so we're one of the only yards I know of in North Texas that are open on Saturdays.
Yeah. What are those hours on Saturday?
7:30 to 12.
7:30 to 12.
I have a question. You brought it. This is maybe totally off topic, but you talked about batteries, and we talk about electric cars today and lithium batteries. Is there anything in the future that you know of where they're going to be able to recycle or do anything with lithium batteries?
I'm glad you bring that up because everybody thinks electric's great and blah, blah, blah. But as at this current time, so we were accused of shipping a lithium battery. Well, let me back up. It was a nickel-cadmium battery. BMW makes some, apparently, that look just like a car battery.
Yeah.
And they claim they found one of our loads, and they fined us for it. Because if you get a nickel-cadmium battery and a load of lead-acid batteries, and it gets in, because the process, they actually shred batteries to recover the lead. If they shred a nickel-cadmium battery, it explodes automatically, and it tears all their equipment up. So they really have to police that and watch it. But at this current time, I don't know anybody that takes lithium batteries. They're a hazard. I mean, look at what it takes to make one.
Oh yeah.
When I don't think that's the best source or the future because lead is naturally mined, and you just mine it and make lead. It's kind of like steel. You mine iron ore, you mine for aluminum, and it's a big process, takes a lot of energy, but recycling reduces that, same as lead acid batteries, but it takes so much to make a lithium battery that I don't know of anybody buying any. So when the electric cars come along, which they're already out there, we have not bought any, but I don't know what you do with the batteries.
Yeah, because I know they have. You see you'll see online where there's these seas of electric cars because the battery is the most expensive part.
That's right.
And so they, instead of replacing a battery, they just go get another car.
That's
so hopefully,
right.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's something in the future to where you can do something with.
Well, it was kind of like they got the cart before the horse on that, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Yep. So.
But going back to the Freedom Fest, one reason I wanted to sponsor that is because and I'm certainly glad I did last year after what happened to Denton's fireworks show. Was I grew up going to North Texas Foutsfield as everybody did,
Right.
and sitting down and watching a great fireworks show. And when I found out Sanger was going to do one, I said, well, I want to help out because I grew up watching the fireworks show, and it just a good fireworks show means a lot to me. And then, and then I found out Denton went to a drone show,
Yeah.
and then after the wind came in last year and they had to cancel, I thought, well,
There's no
we had a
boom.
great.
You
there's
missed
no
the boom.
I keep
want boom.
threatening Donna with drones.
Yeah, and I'm like,
It's
No.
like I
we
love
gotta
to
have
watch her
boom.
face.
gotta have the boom.
Gotta have the boom.
We certainly appreciate your sponsorship, and once again, you're our headlining sponsor, our title sponsor this year, and I certainly appreciate it. We have a great event planned this year. We got the Bellamy brothers coming, so
I'm looking forward to it, and if we can keep the heat turned down.
I put in the order.
Okay.
So we'll see if he listens this year. He listened last year. I don't
He
know
did.
I don't know if I
Did
get
a
it
great
2 years
job
in a
It was
row.
last
nice
year.
last year. Yeah.
So, but hopefully, the Bellamy brothers should bring in a big crowd this year. So I'm excited, very, very excited.
I'm looking forward to it, and it should be a great evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
definitely.
we appreciate you helping make that happen. Because again, it takes a lot of people to make that thing happen, and it takes a lot of resources. We appreciate you and what you do and what your company does. Is there any message that you'd want to give the community about either recycling or about being involved in your community?
Well, as far as recycling, it's not as hard as you think, or you can always set aside a corner of your yard or garage or kitchen or something to keep your cans and your newspapers and stuff like that, or even your metals. And as far as getting involved with the community, just every few minutes you got a time, go volunteer somewhere. I mean, there's opportunities.
We have lots of opportunities.
Tons of
Yeah.
opportunities.
Yes.
Love where you live, right?
Yes,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming in and joining us today. I appreciate your time and learning more about your business. Again, I've been out there. It's an amazing. I had no idea. So he took me out and drove me through, and it's a lot of expensive equipment to do what you do. But it was very exciting. So hopefully we could maybe get the kids back out there. I think if you're willing to do that, we should push the schools to take them out there. These
Yeah,
little kids.
do too,
absolutely.
They would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that. So.
David, thank you, sir.
Thank
we
you.
do
for
appreciate it.
having me.
You've been listening to the 266 Express. I'm John Noblett.
I'm Donna Green.
Thanks for listening in to what's going on in our small little North Texas town.